For today's Film School Minute, we've been talking about the Best Picture Academy Award winners, but have you ever wondered how a film qualifies for award consideration, how it gets submitted, and what happens at each step until nominations? Well, you're in the right place. Let's break it all down. To even be considered for an Academy Award, a film must meet specific criteria. First, it has to be publicly exhibited for a paid admission in a commercial motion picture theater in certain counties or cities
for at least 7 consecutive days and 3 days of public showings. These cities include Los Angeles County, New York City, San Francisco Bay Area, Chicago, Miami, and Atlanta. This ensures that the film is accessible to general audiences and not just limited to private or festival screenings.
The film must have a running time of more than 40 minutes to qualify as a feature. Shorter films compete in a short films category. Once a film meets these requirements, the next step is submission. The filmmakers need to complete an official screen credits form and submit it along with a copy of the film to the Academy. This form lists everyone who should be credited, which is crucial because only the ones that are listed can be nominated. They also have to provide additional materials like a synopsis, cast and crew details, and press kits. This helps the Academy members get to know the film better. The Academy is made up of around 9,000 members, divided into 17 branches, each representing different disciplines in the film industry. These include actors, directors, writers, and so on. In the first round, members of each branch vote to determine the nominees of their respective categories. So actors nominate actors, directors nominate directors, and so forth. This ensures that the nominations are chosen by experts in each field.
For the visual effects category, there is an additional step called the bake-off.
Why is it called the bake-off?
I have no fucking idea.
Members of the visual effects branch begin the nomination process by shortlisting 10 films for the best visual effects category. These films then move on to the bake-off presentation, a unique and competitive phase where each film's visual effects team presents a 10-minute reel showcasing their most impressive and significant work. The presentation often includes a Q&A where team members discuss techniques, challenges, and innovations behind their visuals. After all presentations, members of the visual effects branch vote to narrow it down to the final 5 nominees. All right, let's talk about the Best Picture category, the big prize at the Oscars. The voting process for Best Picture is already unique, but did you know that there's another important factor? Inclusion standards. Yep, to even qualify for consideration, a film must meet 2 out of the 4 standards designed to promote diversity and representation. Let's break it down. First, we have Standard A. This is all about what we see on screen. Lead or supporting actors. At least one of the lead actors or a significant supporting actor must come from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group. At least 30% of the cast in smaller roles must include underrepresented individuals. This can be women, racial or ethnic groups, LGBTQ+ individuals, and people with disabilities. Storyline or subject. The film's main story or theme must focus on underrepresented groups. Next is Standard B, which looks at the behind the scenes of the creative leadership and project team. At least 2 major department heads, think director, composer, cinematographer, must come from an underrepresented group. And one must also come from either an ethnic or racial minority. In a film, at least 6 crew members must be in technical or leadership positions that come from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group. Or at least 30% of the entire crew must be from an underrepresented group. Then we have Standard C, which is about creating industry access and opportunities. Paid apprenticeships. The production or distribution company must offer paid internships to people from underrepresented groups. Training and skills development. They should also provide training opportunities for people who work below the line. And finally, there's Standard D, which focuses on audience development. Representation in marketing. The studio or film company must have senior executives from underrepresented groups in marketing, publicity, or distribution. These standards might sound like a lot, but they're meant to drive lasting change in the film industry, both on screen and behind the scenes. The goal is to ensure that the stories we watch and the people creating them represent the rich diversity of our global population. Critics of these standards argue that it might turn diversity into a checkbox instead of letting it happen naturally through the story or production. The Academy's inclusion standards only affect Best Picture eligibility. A film could sweep major categories like Best Director, Best Actor, Best Original Screenplay, and still not qualify for Best Picture if it does not meet 2 of the 4 inclusion standards. This could create confusion or even backlash if a celebrated film is left out of the Best Picture race. Take historical or biographical films, for example. They're tied to specific eras and people, which makes it hard to meet modern diversity requirements without bending historical accuracy. And let's not forget about indie films, who already struggle with tight budgets. So meeting requirements like internships, training programs, or diverse crews can make it even harder for them to compete in the Best Picture category. Love it or hate it, this is a big step into changing Hollywood's future, and it doesn't come without its challenges. So the next time you see a Best Picture nominee, just know it's not just about great filmmaking. It's also about paving the way for a more inclusive future. You might be wondering, what about Best International Feature Film? There's no international branch of the Academy, right? Okay, maybe you weren't wondering that, but it is a good question. That's where the International Film Executive Committee comes in. This specialized group within the Academy oversees the rules, eligibility, and selection process for the international feature film category. The membership is kept confidential to ensure fairness and impartiality, but it is made up of experienced professionals from various Academy branches to ensure diverse perspectives. This group is responsible for creating a short list of 15 films. Then from there, all active members of the Academy who opt in and watch those 15 films then can vote on the final 5 nominees for that category.
Once the nominations are announced, the final voting begins. Members cast their votes, and the results are kept top secret until the big night. The votes are counted by an accounting firm, and only 2 partners know the results before the envelopes are open on stage. And that's how a film goes from qualifying to being submitted, nominated, and potentially winning an Oscar. It's a meticulous process that ensures the best of the best are recognized. So next time you watch the Oscars, you'll know exactly how those winners made it on stage. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We talk about movies and awards.